my fellow speakers. This is Brian, the Speaker for the Dead, coming to you tonight with another video. This one is going to deal with the subject of Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. Now, Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker comes out on Friday. And already I am seeing massive amounts of videos being produced on this by the video YouTubers that I follow, which is great. That's one of the reasons I follow them, is because they talk about things that I'm interested in. However, I'm noticing a bit of a problem. Now, I consider myself to be a part of the Fandom Menace, although kind of a loose part. I like what they're doing. I like what they talk about. I like kind of the way they're trying to do things. But I also have some issues with some of the things that they do, kind of the way they approach some things. Mainly what I wanted to talk about in this video today is more of my concern for the Fandom Menace and those who do similar things, that there seems to be this desperate attempt to destroy this film so that we can appear to be right, so that it will come off in the end that, oh, see, we were right all along. This is the worst thing ever, the most destructive, horrible Star Wars film that's ever been made, and gee, golly whiz, just everybody's awful. See, here's my problem with that. I don't think that's going to be true. Even if all of the leaks turn out to be true, I don't see this being the horrendous film, because even as people are talking, and I want to reference one of my favorite YouTubers, not as an attack on him, but more as a concern for him, and that would be Doomcock. I like Doomcock very much. He's one of my favorite YouTubers to watch his stuff, but even in his stuff this week, and he's taken a lot of heat for trying to get out the news about the leaks, trying to warn people about what this film might eventually be, and try and, I think, limit some of the people getting caught up in what he feels is going to be a bad movie. But also at the same time, even if every single one of these leaks is true, it's kind of coming out to feel like a dual-edged sword to me. Because I feel like J.J. Abrams was in a no-win situation. He created The Force Awakens, which, granted, had some mistakes and was basically a rehash of New Hope, just introducing new characters. But it wasn't a bad film. It was just kind of executed in a poor way and led to the death of one of the main characters. Now, this is something I hear people harping on a lot. The death of Han Solo. The death of Han Solo was written into the film because that's what Harrison Ford wanted. It was the only way he would appear in these films was if they killed off Han Solo. That was a request by Harrison Ford. He wanted the character to come to an end, and he wanted to be the one to do it. He was the one that helped create the character in the first place, so he felt like he had some, control and ownership over it. To a certain extent, maybe he does. But everybody's crapping on J.J. Abrams for his mistreatment of Harrison Ford or Han Solo. Now, the way he died was kind of hokey in my opinion, and they should have done something better to give him a more heroic send-off. They should have done that, and there's a lot of things they could have done they didn't. But who knows? Harrison Ford may have just been saying, look, just kill me off, kill me off, kill me off, kill me off now. So we don't know what went on behind the scenes. But, he had to do it because that's what Harrison Ford wanted. So you can't really blame J.J. Abrams for doing something that Harrison Ford wanted. And now we can blame him for kind of turning Han Solo into a deadbeat dad who's gone back to smuggling, and he sucks at it way worse than he ever did, and he's kind of incompetent now. Not to mention a deadbeat dad and a philandering, who knows what. And maybe he's not Philanderer, but he's not exactly with Leia anymore either. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that were mistakes in there that J.J. Abrams was kind of responsible for, but who knows how much he was having pushed on him from everywhere else. But see, The Force Awakens was at least a decent film. It wasn't a great film, wasn't breaking new ground, but it was a decent film. And then we had Rian Johnson come in with The Last Jedi and just torpedo everything. He retconned or subverted every single storyline that had been set up for him in The Force Awakens. He either didn't address it or he addressed it in the worst possible way that anybody could have done. Leaving J.J. Abrams with this last film in a very unwinnable situation. Now, like I said, J.J. Abrams doesn't, his hands aren't clean by any stretch. But some of these leaks that are coming out, to me, they look like J.J. Abrams trying to undo the damage that was done by The Last Jedi. Trying to retcon stuff and go back and undo all that nonsense with like the Yoda using Force lightning as a Force ghost. And then that was one of the things that Doomcock was harping on in his video was like, hey, in this new movie, the Jedi ghosts are supposed to come in at the end and help Rey, and why didn't they just blast the Emperor with Force ghost lightning and stuff like that? Well, you were never happy about the Force ghost lightning in the first place. So J.J. Abrams comes back in, retcons that out of canon by basically taking it out of the film, and now you're mad at him for not continuing on with something you said was a mistake in the first place. It's what I mean when I feel like some of our members of the Fandom Menace get caught up in their own narrative to the point where they're not looking at this clearly. Now, Doomcock is a boycotter. He says he's not going to see this film now. He said he wasn't, and then he said he was, and now he says he isn't again. And so I'm not sure. And like I said, this is not an attack on him. I love Doomcock. And that's what concerned me in one of his last videos. I can't even remember the name. I'll try and link to it in the description. But as he was talking, it's great Doomcock stuff, just like it always is. Very funny, very well written. But at the same time, I noticed some cracks in his argument, which is not normal. And that's where I feel like some of this almost feels like Star Wars derangement syndrome. I mean, people talk about Trump derangement syndrome and other whatever. But this feels like people are still so upset over The Last Jedi that no matter what happens, they're going to hate this movie. Now, there are, and everybody keeps making all these videos, the leaks are absolutely true. All the leaks are true. That's a lie. They can't all be true. Because if they were all true, there'd be 15 different cuts of the film. There'd be 26 endings. There'd be this, there'd be that, and we have no evidence to back that up. We have this film. Now, I have no idea. Maybe someday all the leaks will be verified and stuff, but we don't know that for sure. We just know that some of the leaks are bearing out from what people are talking about in this film. Some of the critics that went and saw it on its red carpet opening night or whatever they call it, its premiere, we're not happy with it, but it was a few, but they were attacking this film now, and they were the biggest shills for the last one that there was. My guess is that's why those guys are attacking it, is because they wanted to see more of the Rian Johnson nonsense. They didn't get it, so now they're upset. One of the comments in the reviews was, oh, all the Last Jedi haters are gonna love this film. That sounds like a good thing to me, unless he's saying it sarcastically. But everybody else is saying, oh, it's the greatest movie ever. Okay, I doubt it's the greatest movie ever. But everybody was like worried that there wasn't going to be, like the questions weren't going to be answered. We weren't going to learn anything. We weren't going to find out who Snoke was. We weren't going to learn any of this stuff. Well, it sounds like from what the reviewers were saying about this film is that there's a whole bunch of exposition in the front part of this movie. Well, exposition is explanation. It's dialogue, which its whole purpose is to explain the story with stuff that can't be done in pictures and action sequences and stuff like that. And so it's really heavy on exposition in the front of this. And everybody's like complaining, it's so stupid, all this exposition, boring. That's what you wanted. You wanted explanations. You wanted them to tell you the answers to the questions that we didn't get answered in the last film. So J.J. Abrams is coming back trying to help you get caught up to speed so that he can continue on with this movie. Now the problem is, I think he's probably trying to do everything he wanted to do in the 2 movies in 1 now. And it's going to make it feel compacted and rushed. And that's another thing that we are hearing about it. But it goes back to my original thought on a lot of these videos that I'm making. Can't we just wait and see? Can't we just wait till Thursday night, Friday, and see? Now, I have tickets to go see this movie on Saturday with my brothers and my kids, and I don't want you to ruin it for me. Because I know Thursday night, Friday, I'm going to have to avoid YouTube like the plague. Because everybody on YouTube and the Fandom Menace and everywhere else is going to be trying to spoil this film or either sway me one way or the other that it's great or it's bad or it's good or it's nonsense, it's terrible, it's the worst film ever, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to do it in their titles. And that's my biggest problem. Please don't ruin this for everybody. I know Star Wars is not what we want it to be. I feel the same. I hated The Last Jedi, but you know what? This isn't The Last Jedi. This is episode 9. I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to like it for the things that I can like it for, and I'm going to hate it for the things that maybe don't work and stuff like that. But at the end, I'm just hoping, look, the fact of the matter is, no matter how bad this film is, it cannot be worse than The Last Jedi. And a lot of the choices that J.J. Abrams, I think, was stuck with is that this is what he had left. This is what he could do to make this end. Now, I'm hearing that there's going to be a lot of things that are going to make Anakin and Luke's stories meaningless, and that's a sad thing. But, I mean, at this point, that's pretty much what we knew we were going to get anyway. That's what they've been doing this whole time and stuff. So, I mean, when this movie's done and over, I'm going to let them go. And I'm going to pretend like the sequel trilogy is not even really there. That it's a fan fiction set of films and that nobody cares. Everybody's all this like, well, Kathleen Kennedy's saying that there's going to be no more trilogies and there's going to be this and she's saying this and this and this. Guys, Kathleen Kennedy's not going to be around. She's not going to be in power. She's not going to be in charge. They're going to bleed out the rest of her contract or even less than that, and then she's gone. Okay? She's never going to have any meaningful role in Star Wars again. She has ruined the sequel trilogy. And anybody with a brain at Disney knows that. George Lucas didn't attend the premiere for this film, which tells you that's what he thinks of it. He didn't even want to go. Because he's been betrayed by Bob Iger, by Kathleen Kennedy, everybody he believed at Lucasfilm was going to help back him up. The only people I think he's really involved with at this point is Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. And I don't blame him, because those are the only 2 guys so far that's trying to keep the real Star Wars alive with The Mandalorian. Now, I'm going to go start watching The Mandalorian because I've found a way to watch it to where I don't pay Disney any money. So, and I'm going to see what that's like and come back and give you my review on the series so far and tell you what I think. But can we just let it go? I mean, that's what I really want to say. Stop allowing ourselves to become deranged over this. Okay? It's going to be over in a few days, and then you guys can bitch about it for a week, and then just let it go at that point. Okay? That's all you can do. If the longer you continue this on, the worse it will be for you. But when I see a guy as talented and as awesome as Doomcock tripping over himself in his own explanations, that's what concerns me. Is that because of what's happening, it's getting to them, and we're gonna lose we're gonna lose the right to be called fans, to be who we want to be, because we've been trolled by these people. And that's what I don't want to happen to us. So I will always love Star Wars, the originals. They will always be the epitome for me. And maybe someday we'll get stuff that's even better. But right now, I'm not going to try and destroy this. It will crush itself under its own weight in due time anyway. People will look back in 10 years at these films and go, yeah, they were not good. So we'll see what happens at that point, and maybe it'll lead to something greater in the future. And that's all I can hope for. I love Star Wars. I don't want it to die. I'm not going to tell you that it's dead. It's not dead. As long as there's those of us who love it out here and who push the dream forward and help our kids to love it, maybe they'll grow up to write screenplays and become directors and whatever, and they'll save it in the future. That's what we have to look forward to now. So don't allow yourself to be destroyed by these people and by what they've done. Dream of a better future. And that's where I want to leave this. Thanks for watching. Please hit like, share, and subscribe, and we will talk to you next time. And may the Force be with you.